Hello everyone, we are back once more at UKGE 2024. I'm joined by Dan from Intrepid Games to take a look at a Lander After the Crash board game. Yep. So, tell us a bit about yourself and this game that's upcoming, I believe.
So we've taken about 10 years around our day jobs to bring this game up to this point. We'll be launching on Kickstarter on the 10th of September and looking for you to basically help support bring us into the world. Lander's a resource management strategy game where you get resources in from the board, where you develop a crew with the idea to complete the most mission stars to win the game.
Which seems relatively simple. How have you complicated it for the folks at home then?
So the premise of the game is that rather than humanity going to colonize another world, corporations have invested in the largest spaceship to actually get there.
They always have our best interests at heart. Why would you not?
Exactly. So as the colony team that have come down to kind of establish the beachhead colony base comes in, the lander crash lands and half the crew die.
Okay.
And it's your job as a corporate representative to assemble a crew of the survivors and then start dividing these lands.
Okay.
For the good of their corporations and not for the good of humanity.
So when you're assembling your crew then, is it like a drafting mechanic in the game, or do you have a set crew, that type of thing?
So it's a great question. In the full game, you basically draft your crew as part of the setup process. Mm-hmm. But one of the exciting things about the game is that we simulate the crash by dealing 6 crew per player. So, for example, in a 3-player game, most of those will not feature in the game. They just go straight back into the box.
Okay. Unnecessary casualties, but shame.
A very big shame, because the crew are very exciting because they have a unique leadership ability. So on here, every crew member ability is radically different. Mm-hmm. And through the generation of the game, we found that certain abilities were overpowered, mm-hmm. So we kind of nerfed them. The game became less fun, so we fixed that by overpowering everyone, and that is a great way to balance games.
Yeah. What's the line from The Incredibles? If everybody is special, no one is.
Something like that, yeah. So the fact that you might play a game and just see a handful of these, I think one of the things that as human beings, a lot of us love exploring, discovering new elements. The board will grow, so you're discovering a new world as you play, mm-hmm. But you're also discovering a crew. And maybe in one game, a certain crew member enabled you to win, and you might not see them for so many games, and then they come back in and you get that sense of elation, like, oh, this person, yeah, and so on.
I really like the board as well. Just the tessellating tile is a nice setup. Is that the plan for the final version then, is to go with this? And is this representative of the amount of tiles that are expected, or is there more?
So the game features 63 tiles. Okay. The setup is around the crash site in the middle here. You lay 18 as the starting ring, mm-hmm. And then on from there the board will grow. So from that 63, a game might encompass maybe 40. Mm-hmm. So again, there'll be tiles that you don't see, and then when you see them, it'll be, oh, I have not seen this one before, and so on. So what we have worked with is that with the base game version, it'll be a cardboard design, which doesn't lock together. With the limited edition that we're going to Kickstarter with, this is where the interlocking design features. Okay. And what we've aimed to do is that when you play tile placement games, a lot of the time it might encroach off the edge of the table, and with this design, you're able to move the whole structure as one thing. So you can move that around all the other game elements and phones and everything else on the table.
Yeah, and you don't have to worry about somebody getting up, hitting the table with their knee and sending your world crashing across the place. Yeah.
Exactly. Nobody wants that. Yeah. I mean, we've already crashed. You don't need another one.
Nope. Nobody needs another crash. How many people is the game set up to play for, and sort of how long are you looking at?
So the game features 3 modes. The main game is probably about 50 minutes per player, but because people's lives are so busy, we've made it so that you can, instead of playing 4 years, you can play for 3 years. Mm-hmm. That would probably be 40 minutes per player. And then there's a kind of a race game that's 30 minutes per player, which kind of is also a bit tutorially, so you can get into the game without so many rules, that sort of thing.
Okay. And upper limit on players then, is that 4?
And that would be 4, yes. On there, when we went to Kickstarter in 2020, one of the voices that we heard was that people would like to play this as a solo mode. So we spent the last 4 years figuring out how you can make a game which is primarily player interaction have a solo mode, and we feature now a 1 to 4 player game by having a digital assistant that would sit next to you and would simulate player turns as a human player turns.
Okay. That seems absolutely fascinating. Where can people find Intrepid Games here at the Expo then?
So we're on our manufacturer's stand, Gameland. We're in Hall 1, number 631. Couldn't speak highly enough about the quality of Gameland's work and how they've helped bring it out, from the computer into the real world. So if anyone else is thinking about, making a game, then come and stop by, chat to Gameland, come and stop by and have a chat too.
Cool. And if they're looking to sign up to the Kickstarter or to keep tabs on you, where can they find you outside of the Expo?
So we're on www.landerthegame.com, and our Kickstarter Notify Me page is live now. So yeah, please come and have a look, see what we've got. If you are really interested in what you see today, you can also go on our website and download the tabletop simulator file and play the game right now, as well as the rulebook and so forth.
There you go, folks. If you're sitting at home, you can't make it to the Expo, you can play the game. You're not allowed to play it until after 4 o'clock when we stop live streaming though. But we're going to head on and see what else the Expo has to offer. Bye-bye.